Welcome back. This is Sharon Hughson, and today we're going to talk about getting feedback on your writing. There are a couple questions I get asked quite often by people that I'm coaching or working with on their writing. They want to know when they should get feedback and where. So today we'll be talking about that. All right, so getting feedback on your writing. Let's talk about when it's time for feedback. I'll tell you when it's not time for feedback. When you first finish your first draft. You finish it, you read through it, you're like, oh, this is so great, this is amazing. I want someone else to read it and tell me how great it is, or what they think needs work, or whatever you tell yourself. But that first draft, even if you're a really experienced writer, is not clean enough to be read by someone who's going to give you feedback, because you don't want someone who's giving you feedback to be distracted by the errors, by proofreading errors, by conventions that are out of place, by wonky sentences. I've been writing and being published as a writer for over 6 years, and every first draft I write needs a lot of work. And every professional author, some who've written as many as 80 novels, will tell me the same, that their first draft isn't ready for anyone else's eyes. So the mistake that some people make is that feedback means I should give them, just whatever I first came up with, and they'll give me lots of stuff that will help me improve my writing. But it's not going to work that way, because if they can't get past the grammar and can't get past silly errors like that, they aren't going to be able to see the deeper things that you want help with. Okay, so it's not for a first draft, and it's also not for someone who is looking for positive reinforcement and only positive reinforcement. So I just got an email from a newsletter that I followed today, and they were talking about this feedback too. And the author was saying how much he really appreciates feedback because it's helped him become a stronger writer. So yes, but you still want to do this second thing before you get feedback. You want to give your strongest writing to a person, okay? And he mentioned how it still hurts, a little bit, when people are like, oh, well, you should da-da-da. So wait, what? I thought that was fine. So if you have taken your manuscript, your book idea, your story as far as you can, you have gone to craft classes and polished it up, you have figured out what it means to self-edit, and you have done that, and you read the story and you think, okay, this is pretty good. I think this is a good story. I like these characters. There is a plot that makes sense. And you think it's the best you can do. I don't know how to make this any better. That's when you're ready for feedback. So when you're about to get feedback, make sure you kind of prepare yourself for hearing the good, the bad, and the ugly, because you will hear all of the above, and maybe not as much good as you would like. So the next question is, where can you get feedback? Well, these days, the internet is a source for everything. Now, one group that I was a member of for a while before I was first published was Scribophile. And I will drop a link in the comments about that. It's not an affiliate link. They have free and paid memberships. I was a free member. And how it works is that you sign up for genres. You can join groups that have like genres as yours, which I recommend, so that you'll have some people whose writing will come up on your radar, that it's open. You review, you critique pieces and earn coins. And when you have enough coins, then you can put a piece up to be critiqued. So it's one of those things where someone can't just go in and get lots of feedback and never do anything. It's a give and take type thing. So the good thing about that is it teaches you how to be a pretty good critiquer, which also will help you with your own writing, because if you can see the errors in other people's writing, then you should be able to see them in yours. If you decide to go with Scribophile, I recommend that you go and you check out how some other people critique stuff before you give your critique. They do have guidelines. You have to be pretty much positive, You don't have to give a lot of feedback. It can be really small. So it doesn't have to be a huge time investment. It's not like reading 2,000 words and they're expecting you to give a paragraph by paragraph critique of their work, which if you're getting feedback from someone who is a professional critiquer, that is what you're looking for. So you can, the first place that I got paid feedback was at a writing conference. So you can pay for feedback there from authors and editors that are in your genre. Writing schools, you go to writing schools, you can submit your work and they will critique it as part of the class. So I actually, another really helpful and eye-opening feedback that I got on a short story was from another author who runs a blog and a writing school online. And I was talking about how it was really difficult to find someone to give you honest, useful feedback in the comments of a post that she had about that, about having a thick skin or whatever. And she was like, okay, well, send me 1,000 words. I'll give you some feedback. Yeah, maybe I wish I hadn't asked for that. It was some pretty intense feedback, but it was good. And another place that you can get feedback on your writing is editors. A lot of editors will read your entire manuscript for a fee and give you a few written pages that will tell you the strong points, the weak points, and their recommendations for how to improve it. So you get an overall insight. It's not line by line. There will be nothing. They don't usually mark up your manuscript at all, but they will reference pages about specific things so you understand what they're talking about. You can also have a critique done by someone who is a professional author and a professional editor, and who also does first chapter critiques or any chapter critique. First is the best to get critiqued because you need to hook. A lot of things need to happen in that first chapter. So it's good to know whether or not that first chapter is doing all those things. Oh, and who am I talking about? Who does that? That would be me. I'm not here to sell you anything, but there will be a link to first chapter manuscript critique if it is something where you think you don't have a first draft, you've taken your story as far as you can, and you really, really, really are ready to hear how you can make this story stronger. So, as always, I've got dropped links below to the free checklist, writing checklists, and my free coaching group on Facebook, Write Your Book Nook. So I hope to see you there. But if not, next time we'll be talking even more about editors and editing.